Good morning. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Or maybe it's afternoon. Either way, I'm just glad you're here. And I have a song that I would like to share because I love to sing. And I think you may know it. So maybe follow along and see if it works for you, okay? We're going to start with clapping. You got it? Try it. Feeling good? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. See, you know it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. See, you know this one, right? You can do it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Woo, woo. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Woo, woo. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet and clap your hands. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now, if you're happy and you know it, say mm-hmm. If you're happy and you know it, say mm-hmm. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, say mm-hmm. And stomp your feet and clap your hands. Woohoo! Oh, this isn't enough. Let's go farther. Yeah! If you're happy and you know it, jump around. If you're happy and you know it, jump around, make some sound. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, jump around and make some sound. Woohoo! Make some sound. Woohoo! And make some sound. Who? Sorry. Oh, sorry. We're too loud. Sorry. We're too loud. So bring it down. Bring it down. We can do this. We can do this. Take my glasses off for this one. You ready? If you're happy and you know it, blink your eyes. If you're happy and you know it, blink your eyes. If you're happy, know it, really want to show it. That's really lame, isn't it? Yeah, that's no fun at all. Woohoo! If you're happy and you know it, jump around. Woo! If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Woo! If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, make it happy and you know it, clap your hands. Big finish, here we go. Really fast. Woo! I don't know about you, but I had to get a glass of water after that. Whew, that was fun, wasn't it? Sometimes you just got to jump around and make some sound, right? In fact, sometimes that's the only thing you can do. If you're feeling sad or you're feeling anxious, worried, mad at somebody, you know, that's kind of showing compassion to yourself. Compassion, there's that word again. We're going to talk about that today. Compassion. What does compassion mean? Well, compassion helps us to be present with one another. When we follow God's Spirit, which is always on the move, we then are open to people we come across in our daily life. And they can experience God's Spirit through our care, through our compassion. I'm going to tell you a story later about 3 women, and it'll show you a little more about how we can show compassion to others, sometimes at really tough times. That's my kitty cat in the background, showing some compassion by saying, "Hi, I'm here, just in case you need me, I'm here." So you may hear in the background. We're going to learn how to be present with one another. Ooh, you just saw a road past? That's Fanny. Anyway, we're going to learn how to kind of let go of things we think should happen and should go a certain way. We're going to learn how to be flexible, and we're going to learn to trust the Spirit as we seek to learn how to live more compassionate lives. Now, again, compassion, there's that word again. What does it mean? Compassion, I think, means to be a good listener, means to be soft-hearted, to be caring, and to be a good listener. That's really important about compassion, to be a good listener. Now, we have spent a lot of time together, haven't we? Because, well, you know, we're a family, and right now, we kind of have to be together a lot, and it's not always easy, is it? I mean, sometimes we get on each other's nerves, but it's good to be together, isn't it? I have some questions for you, and I want you to answer with the very first thing that comes into your head. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Who is always there for Minnie Mouse? Big ears, bow tie. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Who's always there for Iron Man? I'm not really sure. I've only seen the movie a couple times, but I know there's always that nice lady who's there to help him with everything he needs and make sure he has all the equipment he needs and information. Who is always there for Harry Potter? Well, there's Professor Dumbledore, and his two good buddies, Hermione and Ron, is it? The guy with the red hair who always seems to be getting into trouble. Oh. Well, they help Harry a lot. Who is always there for people who are sick? I thought of doctors right away, right? They always help us when we're sick. Who is always there for children? Gosh, I think teachers are always there for the children, right? I mean, they want to teach children. They want to help children grow and learn. So I think that means being there for them. Now, who is always there for you? Your mom? Your dad? Your older brother and sister? An aunt? Your dog? Your goldfish? Who's there that you can talk to? Who's there who's a really good listener? Now, that all seems pretty easy, and I'm sure you came up with the ideas and answers just like I did. But I'm wondering, what does it mean to be always there? Like, what does that mean? Always there. What does it mean to be there for somebody? Like, does it mean that they're always by your side? Like, all the time? Like, they're stuck to you like glue? Like, you walk around with your friend stuck to you, and someone says, who is that? It's my friend. I just can never get rid of them. They're always sticking around to me. That's kind of a funny way to think of it. But you know what I mean. You know, those friends you can talk to when you're really feeling down? The friends sometimes that don't have to say anything. They just sit and maybe hold your hand and tell you it's going to be okay and listen to your story. Or maybe say, hey, you want to play? Or you want to sing a silly song that this crazy lady just taught me that involves some clapping and jumping around? Yeah, it might work. Well, today, we're going to be present with each other. Now, I know we're not in the same space, but we can take a few seconds to pretend that we're in the same place. And let's do it with a little bit of a prayer to start together. Shall we? You know, whenever we're together or apart, God is always with us. And we can be present with each other in a lot of different ways. Even like this. So take a deep breath with me. There you go. Are you doing it? Okay, now, here's something else I want you to do. You're going to put one hand on your head and one hand on your heart. Now, when we're doing this, compassion reminds us that it can happen in our brains, with our brains, and it can happen in our heart, with our heart. So will you maybe say this prayer with me and think about it in your head, think about it in your heart, repeat after me, okay? Will you do it? Okay. Loving Spirit. I didn't hear you. Loving Spirit. That's much better. Okay. Loving Spirit. You are alive and active. Always moving and stirring within and around us. Always moving and stirring within and around us. Please be an encouraging wind at our backs, giving us open minds and soft hearts to follow where you lead. Make us flexible and present in each moment that we might embrace. I love that word. I can't do it right now, but embrace or hug compassion by letting go of what we expected. Amen. That was wonderful. Now, I have a story. Cool story. Are you ready? This happened in the Bible. It's a story in the Bible that you can look at too. And it happened many, many, many years ago, but it could just be happening today. It's the same thing. The people in the Bible live just like we live today as far as wanting to be happy, wanting to have friends, wanting to be with their families, maybe being a little sad sometimes. So they're not any different, really, from us. I mean, they're a little different, but we're all inside kind of the same, aren't we? So in this story, it takes place in Judah, which is in Israel, and it's an old name for a part of Israel, by the ocean, by the sea. And talks about a man whose name was Elimelech. Can you try that? Elimelech. Do you know anybody named Elimelech? Got a couple in your class maybe? I don't know, but it's kind of an unusual name. And he was very worried. He was very worried about how his family would survive the famine. Now, a famine's a tough time for a lot of people. It means basically that there's a real shortage of food. And can be a very scary thing for people. It makes them have to move sometimes. And that's what happened here. Elimelech took his wife, Naomi, and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, to the country of Moab. Moab is going farther into, away from the sea, across the river Jordan. There's the land of Moab. And there they settled and they made a life for themselves. And soon, their sons married. Well, not soon, but, they grew up and then they got married. And they married two women. Each one married a woman named Ruth, and one married one named Orpah, which I think I've heard tell that was Oprah Winfrey's name on her birth certificate was Orpah. Her aunt, I think the story goes, named her from this character in the Bible. But people kept spelling it wrong, and they always called her Oprah. I don't know if that's true, but check it out. Anyway, so these two men married Orpah and Ruth. Now, during this time when the family was all together, Naomi's husband died. He passed away. And then eventually her two sons died too. Naomi missed her family and wanted to go back home, so she began the journey back to Judah. And as was the custom for daughters by law, Orpah and Ruth, they followed her. But Naomi insisted, stay home in Moab, go back to your family. May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with your husbands and me. Peace be with you. Then Naomi hugged them goodbye as they all cried together. Have you ever had to say goodbye to a friend? It's very sad, isn't it? But Orpah and Ruth were determined to follow her. Naomi tried to persuade them. I do not want you to ruin your chance at marriage and having your own family. If you stay with me, you will have nothing because I cannot give you anything. I have lost everything and my heart is bitter. They all cried together once again. Sad time for Naomi. Sad time for those ladies. Orpah decided to go back home. But Ruth, she clung to Naomi even more. Naomi said to Ruth, don't stay with me. Go back with Orpah. But Ruth opened up to her and said, don't make me leave you. Where you go, I will go. Where you make your home, I will make my home. Your people will be my people, your God, my God. And where you die and buried, I will be buried there too. I will be your family. When Naomi saw that she couldn't change Ruth's mind, her heart softened. She accepted Ruth, and they traveled back together. Ruth lovingly took care of Naomi, and she became like a daughter to her. Orpah showed compassion to herself because she felt it was best for her to go back home and respect what Naomi was telling her. But Ruth felt a different kind of compassion. She wanted to be present for Naomi, and she wanted to show that love and tenderness to her, and her heart and her mind told her the best place would be at Naomi's side to help her and be with her through the rest of her life. So compassion can come in a lot of different ways. How we show compassion to ourselves by being good to ourselves and being kind to ourselves, and how we show compassion to other people. Sometimes it's hard to know what direction to take. But if we're present, if we really stop and listen to the experiences of those around us, we can trust God's Spirit to show us the compassionate way. Naomi showed compassion to Ruth and Orpah by encouraging them to return to their families. Ruth showed compassion to Naomi by going with her. Orpah showed compassion by supporting Ruth's decision while making the choice that was best for her. They all gave compassion in their own way, showing us there are many ways to follow the Spirit's leading to love and care. So, think about this for me, will you? Sometimes in the summertime, it's good to lay out in the yard and look up at the clouds and think deep thoughts. Here's a couple for you to roll around in your mind. Or maybe when you can't sleep at night, these are a couple ideas to kind of think about. How does compassion help us to be present? How does seeing, feeling, easing hurt help us be there for our friends and our family? What do you think it means to be with people who are hurt? Does it mean sometimes to make them feel better? Or let them just tell you how they feel and listen? How can you be with someone while they're hurting? How can you let someone be with you when you're hurt? I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me. Bye-bye.